Hi everybody, this is part 2 of the science lesson. We're going to continue where we left off at 16.1, dealing with garbage. But before we start, I wanted to talk about this called A Step Towards Cleanliness. It's called Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which literally means Clean India Mission. The Prime Minister of India launched the Swachh Bharat mission. The aim of this mission is to create an open, defecation-free India by 2nd October 2019. Wow, I hope they achieve that. Okay, now let's continue from where we left off. Let me just minimize this. So, Safai Karamcharis, which is like cleaners, garbage cleaners, collect the garbage in trucks and take it to a low-lying open area called a landfill. So, if you guys have ever seen a landfill before, it's basically just a free area with lots of like sand and dust and many other things. I think that's where they take the garbage. And there's one, and it says that they can separate into two parts. It can be one part where the garbage is reused and one part where it cannot be reused. Thus, the garbage has both useful and non-useful components. So basically they remove the non-useful components and they spread it over the landfill and just like cover it with soil completely. Then once the landfill is completely full, they convert it to a little, walking park or a playground, and then no buildings are constructed on it for like 20 years or so. And most of the times, to deal with some of the useful components, like compost making areas are developed near the landfill. So what is compost basically? Let's learn about it now. Okay, but before we start, let's see this. Paheli did wonder as to what could be useful garbage. I wonder that too. Oh, I know. Like I said in the previous chapter, in our overview, you might have heard me saying that banana peels and leftovers from vegetables and fruits can actually be used as compost for the plants. And she's also wondering, why was it thrown away in the first place? Maybe because, people don't know the uses of compost, and another thing where I think it's basically called biogas. I'm not quite sure. They actually melt the plastic and it becomes gas. I don't know, but it's basically used in all the fuels for our house. I'm not quite sure about that. Let me know in the comments if you know about biogas, but that's also another way. But I think most people don't know what that's about, and they think that garbage is just useless. And yeah, so that's basically what they think. And is there some garbage that is not actually garbage? Well, yeah, like I said, compost, that is not garbage, it's manure. Basically, manure is something that's good for plants. Okay, activity 1. Let's see what compost is about. Collect the garbage from your house before it is thrown into the dustbin. If you have anything, it says separated into groups, Group 1 should contain garbage from the kitchen, after you're done cooking, and if you have any leftovers, just put it in a plastic bag aside. And you can also include newspapers, dry leaves, paper bags, anything. And in Group 2, you can take anything that's broken, like pieces of cloth, polythene bags. You can take broken glass, in case something fell down. You can take aluminium wrappers or any other old thing like toys or shoes or nails. Okay? Next, you need to divide the contents of each group into two separate heaps. So basically, Group 1, you have many things divided into two separate heaps. Group 2, two separate heaps, and you label them as A, B, C, and D. So you take a heap from Group 1 and a heap from Group 2, and you tie it into two separate plastic bags, and make sure the mouth of these two bags is tight, very tightly, very tight. It needs to be tight. That's important. Now, after you're done with that, put the other two heaps inside and in separate pits, and you can cover them with soil. So basically, just put some soil over. You can also use 4 pots if you don't want to use plastic bags, or if you don't have any. After 4 days, you can remove the soil and observe the changes in the garbage. If there is only a black color and no foul smell, that means that the rotting of garbage is complete. So then you put the heaps again in the pits and cover with the soil. Then after every 2 days, you observe and note your observations as suggested. So did the garbage rot completely and not smell? rot only partially, rot almost completely but still smells bad, not change at all. Garbage in which heap has seemed to rot and which did not. Okay, for some of you who are interested by this activity, you can do it, and let me know in the comments below what results you have observed. So there's a little table here. You might want to copy this down. I'm not so sure, but I'm just gonna leave it there in case you want to like study it, and you can just enter your options in there after you've done observing it. If you don't want to, then it's totally fine. So enter options blah 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 in the columns of table 16.1 based on your observations. If you make any other observations, don't forget to write all these down in your notebook. Yeah. So do not remove and burn the garbage that did not rot. Okay, like don't. It will just like be a waste. So if the garbage was found to rot completely and did not smell, mix it in the soil where you sow your favorite plants, and that is called compost. So basically this would just provide nutrients to the plants. I remember I did one experiment where I had these like potatoes, and I just put it for the plant, and then like every day I noticed that one potato was like half gone, and then after a few weeks the potatoes were like fully eaten up. So that basically means that any type of waste material that you have, it's always good for the plants. So you must have definitely observed from this activity that some things in the garbage, they rot and some of them don't. You may as well know that plastic doesn't rot. It's basically made of phthalates, which makes plastics long lasting. That's why they take like a lot of time to decompose. So the things which do rot form manure, which is used for the plants. Manure is basically like a fertilizer for the plants so that they can grow properly. Yeah. So the rotting and conversion of some materials into manure is called composting. Exactly. That is the word we were looking for. Composting. Okay. Now you guys know what compost is. Let's continue reading. In some cities and towns, municipalities. I wonder what that word means. If you know what this word means, let me know in the comments below. So they provide separate dustbins. As you know, in Singapore, they have 4 different dustbins. One for paper, one for glass, one for other rubbish, and one for cardboard. I'm not so sure, but it's basically just for recycling. But in other cities in India, municipalities, I think it's something to do with the government. Municipalities, yeah. Municipalities provide separate dustbins for collecting 2 kinds of garbage. If you guys have ever seen that before, you would usually see that one is blue, one is green. The blue one is for materials that can be used again, such as plastics, metals, and glass. And the green one is basically just, well, garbage. Yeah. Did you notice that these are the materials that do not rot in the garbage heaps? Yeah, like I said, phthalates, they do not like let the plastics like it takes a long time to decompose. So do metal. It's the same case with metals and glass. They're like very strong, so insects cannot just feed on them and just decompose. So did you notice that these are the materials that do not rot in the garbage heaps? Yep. The green bins are for collecting kitchen and other plant or animal waste. So you may have noticed that this type of waste rot completely when buried in the soil. Yeah, I've actually seen that before. Many times, like I've read in some books that if you bury like kitchen waste, then after a few days it will already be like decomposed. It will be totally black, or sometimes it can be like totally gone. So do you see why it is necessary for us to separate wastes into 2 groups as we did in activity 1 before we throw it? Yeah, it's actually quite important because, see, if you separate it into 2 different groups, then the groups which can, the first group, which has things which can be reused again, will not like go to waste instead of just like throwing it in the garbage or just like burning it away because you like don't want it in your house. You don't want to make your house stink. You can actually just reuse it again, just wash it and reuse it again. But in the second group, some people don't know like what to throw and what to not throw. So in the second group, it basically shows like leftovers from the kitchen or animal waste, which can actually be used for plant growth and manure. So have you actually noticed like some people, they burn dried leaves on the roadside? Like this picture, let me just show you this one. They're basically burning dried leaves and it's producing harmful gas. here. Yeah, so often farmers also burn the husk, dried leaves, and part of crops in their plants. I'm pretty sure it's because it's like not needed for cooking later on. Burning of these produces smoke and gases. Yeah, you might know that it produces carbon dioxide, and if it goes in our nose, then it might cause serious problems. So we should try and stop such practices. They can actually be converted into very useful compost. So here are some of the observations and thoughts noted by Paheli and Buju, remember them, from their project dealing with garbage. So basically it says here, Buju noted in his notebook, do not burn leaves, you will not be able to tolerate the fumes. So, and Paheli made a note in her notebook, why has the government not made burning of leaves a theft? Okay, so we're gonna leave it there and we'll continue reading uh, another time. But I just want you to wonder about this. Why has the government not made burning of leaves a theft? But here I just want to note this part. Not theft, really. She must have meant illegal. So she's thinking, why has the government not made burning of leaves, well, illegal? And I also want you to think about Buju's observation, and let me know in the comments below about your thoughts. And if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notifications, and as always, comment down below for future video ideas. Thank you guys. Bye.